With more than 575,000 living alumni, the Purdue for Life Foundation focuses on 6 pillars of engagement: affinity networks, alumni clubs, lifelong learning, travel, volunteerism, and student and recent graduate programs. Today we're introducing you to 5 Purdue alumni who chose teaching as their profession. They were recently recognized by the Greater Lafayette Chamber of Commerce for their leadership and positive contributions to their community. We are very proud of their accomplishments and even prouder they're Purdue Boilermakers. Thanks for watching, and Boiler Up!
Hi, I'm Lisa Lane. I teach first grade at Purdue Elementary, and I am going to be starting my 29th year, all but one in first grade. My path to Purdue was not a straight path. I worked in a pediatrician's office because I loved working with kids, and then realized being the secretary really didn't help me be with kids. So then I started working on campus in a couple of departments as a graduate secretary, took classes part-time, and then I went full-time, and I graduated in '94 with a bachelor's, and I have a kindergarten endorsement and a reading endorsement.
Very cool.
It's neat.
I'm Miley Schleich. I teach at Mentone Elementary School, and I got my bachelor's degree and my master's degree from Purdue University. My path didn't always start out the way I wanted it to, because I started Purdue and then had a family and was married. So it took me a little while to get through and get everything the way I wanted it. But I ended up with Purdue with my both degrees from there, and I've been teaching 37 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm Denise Erickson. I teach at Battleground Elementary. This will be my 30th year. But I started out in the dental world for about 8 years, and then I had a baby and decided that I didn't want to work all those hours. I wanted to do something, and my husband said, "You always wanted to go to Purdue, so why not go into Purdue and go into teaching that you wanted to do?" So I did, and then I graduated 9 years later and have taught at Battleground Elementary for 30 years, first grade, same room.
My name is Bill Loffman, and I will put up my 35th class picture this year. I've taught 3rd or 4th grade all 35 times, or all 35 years.
I'm Claire Brown. I teach kindergarten at Mayflower Mill Elementary, and I'm starting my 16th year of teaching. My path to Purdue started when I was itty bitty. I had the Purdue cheerleading uniform and went to all the basketball games. My favorite person was Glenn Robinson and Matt Waddell, all the basketball players, and that kind of cemented it for me that I wanted to be a Boilermaker, and I grew up being a Boilermaker. I really didn't know much about the School of Education, but having said that, I didn't really know about the School of Education at other schools necessarily either. So I loved it. I thought it was awesome. We built kind of a community with the kids that you went through all the blocks with. You were kind of a group together, and you always were together. You went to the schools together. You did student teaching together. And it was kind of cool to have that small group that went through everything with you. So Purdue was awesome. Loved it.
I think it's interesting with the 5 of us, how really you were the only one who started that path and stuck to that path. And I think that kids today feel like they have to know what they want to do the rest of their lives when they start college. And we are proof that you don't need to know what. It's okay to not know what you want to do with the rest of your life. And then it might take you 9 years or 7 years or 5 years or just 4 years.
I think one thing too, even for the high school kids, which is difficult because of all the other requirements in high school, is experience. I think they don't, or they maybe were in school when they didn't have a good experience, or a year where something happened. And I think, getting out, talking to teachers, talk to your old teachers, visit. I have a lot of students that come back and talk with me and visit with me and ask me. So I think talking to people who have the experience, getting a chance to get in to the school and see their teachers and experiences that they've had.
And I think too, one thing I would tell a person considering Purdue is, if you get that Purdue degree, if you show that grit, that determination, because a lot of times you might have to work while you're a student, or raise a family.
That's right.
Chances are going to school isn't the only thing you're doing. But you get that Purdue degree, and I don't want to say you're set, because you've still got a lot of hard work, but I think in competition for other jobs or against other people, you're in very good shape. If that degree says Purdue on it, they know that you've stuck with it, they know that you have that grit, that determination. And another thing I like about a lot of Purdue graduates is that doing the job is very important. But making your community a better place is very important too. And I talk to students about that a lot. I talk to them about different jobs and what they entail a lot. But what are you doing to make things better?
One thing I thought that was great about being a student at Purdue was there was a place for everyone. You could, in the College of Education, there were different offices you could hold. There were also different committees and clubs you could be on, and you kind of had these other things that you could join. There were intramurals. There's a club for everybody, and it was kind of a great place for anybody to find their niche.
Well, I think for me, when I went to school here, the Purdue expectations for the professors, they expected me to do my best. They pushed me to do my best. And I think we carry that out in our classroom. And I think that is the most important thing. I take that in my first grade classroom, the high expectations I have for them. I think we produce great things when we expect more. And I think Purdue is very high expectation of their graduates, and we have taken that in everything that we've done. At least I know the 5 people here are amazing, and the grit it is taken, because we've all taught a long time in the classrooms, and it takes a lot of grit to do that.
And I think that's true with the professors that I had when I was here. They supported you. They did. There wasn't a large number of us. In your case, Denise, there were other people have gone, but they supported you, and they made you feel like you could do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the grit. And I think you're right. We carry that to the classroom with us, with a lot of our students who maybe feel like they can't do it. We're right there saying you can.
And I think Purdue was pretty good about making sure, obviously, that the grit, determination were there. The program was quite rigorous. I mean, it was very time consuming, but what isn't? But also, while you're doing that, are there things you're doing that make your community a better place as well?
When you said, I kind of liked what you said about somebody getting your degree. Well, it's not done from there, because the things and the life lessons you learned here, it kind of pushes you on further, because you want to do even more than that. When you see somebody from Purdue, when you're out to dinner in Indianapolis, oh my goodness, and you're able to connect about all kinds of things, regardless of if you graduated in 83 or graduated in 2017. You have lots of connections, which is pretty cool.
I mean, it's known worldwide. When you say Purdue, people are like, they know what a great school it is, and I'm proud to say that.
So what do you think? Should we say boiler up?
I was thinking
Ready?
that.
1, 2, 3.
Boiler up!